Kirsten Liebelt. It's so good to see you. Come on in. It's 11 o'clock a.m. Let me see here. What day are we on? We're on Thursday, January 23rd. See? Golly, I'm on the right day. How you guys doing? Today we're going to talk about fatty liver and the connection with hot flashes. But you know what? Do not scroll if you are past hot flashes. Don't scroll. There's still the connection. Like, you don't have to be experiencing hot flashes for this to be of serious relevance to you. I actually really love talking about fatty liver in this whole conversation because it is probably the primary it's the primary thought process that we can, or it's one of the primary symptoms that can tell you and me, just how ridiculous it is that we are not told on a regular basis that certain things are turnaroundable. Like, come on. One of the conversations that I had with a customer, this was maybe about a year ago or so, and she had texted me and she said, I am so mind blown because I went to the doctor and the doctor said, good morning, Terry. Good to see you. Good to see you. And he said, you have fatty liver. And then he said, oh, that's okay. So do I. Who doesn't? And she said, excuse me, I need to drink some water. What in the world? The second I get on, the second I start talking, this is ridiculous. And she just was very upset, and she should have been. She should have been. So this information may or may not be for you in terms of the very specific piece of hot flashes. However, all of this information is going to be extremely relevant to you in terms of fatty liver. And then this is why, you guys, this is why we talk about insulin resistance all the time, right? Because it is the very core, it is the very base of freaking everything else that's going on in your body, okay? And we want to function at a different level as we age. Like, I'm going into my 60s, people. Come on, let's function at a different level, right? We don't want to go like this. My dad went like this in his 50s and died at 63 of type 2 diabetes. His whole 50s was decline. That's too young. That's ridiculous when this is not a terminal diagnosis. So let's just, for once and for all, make the decision. We're going to shift how we're doing things, shift how we're understanding, shift the way that we are viewing things, like weight loss. Anybody? Summer's coming, weight loss. Let's shift the way that we're doing it and the way that we're viewing it so we can actually get results. Like, aren't you just like exhausted from chasing your tail? I mean, I know I get so tired, like, oh my gosh, like just against a brick wall. Like, stop. Okay, so let's jump into this. Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. If you're on TikTok, thank you so much for joining in. Share out information if you feel like this is really important and relevant to other people when it comes to just the conversation of insulin resistance all the time. We come live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We talk about insulin resistance and how it literally is affecting and creating the mess, the chaos in your life, everything from your belly fat to all of your weight gain to you're not sleeping at night, you're exhausted all the time. You're just like, you're a hot mess express. I came into my 50s. Thank you so much, MS girl, for liking. I so appreciate you. So appreciate you. Thank you. Because seriously, like in TikTok land, we must have cooperation, right? Like, with people have to be so kind and generous to tap the screen and stuff so that we can get the information out. But if you're on Instagram and Facebook, would you like heart? Just give a heart. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe. That would be great. Share out the information. I know Claudette, she's not on here maybe yet, but golly jeepers. She literally shares my stuff every single day. Claudette, you're amazing. So amazing. Okay. So I am going to talk through the lens of insulin, of hot flashes. But again, if you're not in hot flash stage or you've already passed it or you're not having one, just hold on a second, okay? Because it's a hormonal conversation. And the truth is that it may not be you, but it may be somebody you know. And what if we had simple fixes for things? That would be the question for everybody to answer. So hot flashes connected to fatty liver. Like, seriously, people who knew that. Did anybody know that that was actually a connection? And The connection with fatty liver disease, the number one point to always make is that it's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And it begs the question, if it's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. Oh, you've got NAFLD. No problemo. Yes, big problemo. This is ridiculous. It used to only be found in alcoholics. Does this not tell us what our diet has been doing to us all of this time? Why do we question why we are obese and medicated and sick and not functioning? Here we go. So when we think of fatty liver disease, we often blame alcohol, but here is the truth. Poor diet and lifestyle are just as responsible. When our body consumes more calories and carbs than it can burn, the excess gets stored as fat in the liver. Over time, this can lead to something called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. If you're a woman or approaching menopause, and some of y'all might not be, but listen up. Kristen's in the house. Good to see you, Kristen. Good to see you. If you're a woman or approaching menopause, listen up. A recent study of nearly 5,000 women diagnosed with fatty liver disease due to metabolic issues. Here we go. This is our connection right here. This is our insulin resistant conversation. Everything comes back to insulin resistance. Just say it with me. Everything comes back to insulin resistance. So turn that back and guess what happens? Only good things. All of the symptoms get turned back too. So women diagnosed with fatty liver disease due to metabolic issues were more likely to experience severe or very severe hot flashes and night sweats. Okay, so remember my story, and I'll tell you about the metabolic connection here in just a second. Remember I told you my story about how I had shoulder surgery? I was 50 years old. I have shoulder surgery. I tore my rotator cuff and had surgery, but then it froze on me. And so within 90 days, I stopped taking all of my supplementation. And instead, including, remember, okay, let's back up just for a second. So I'm taking the trio, this is 10 years ago, taking the trio, the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. I'm taking this along with adaptogenic herbs, and I go and I have surgery. They fix my shoulder, but it freezes. I do not know it. I'm in exceeding pain. I'm like, what? Like they're trying to get me to do physical therapy. And I'm like, I can't. It was just really bad. And then finally they were like, oh, it's frozen. I'm like, I knew something was wrong. But during that time, I was very, very, very disciplined with my narcotics, if you know what I mean. Like I did not stop paying attention to making sure I was putting like timers on my phone because I was just in a lot of pain. But at the same time, I stopped taking the things that were helping me with insulin sensitivity. Okay, are you tracking? I hope you're tracking. Just follow this for your own journey. So I stopped taking that, and all of a sudden, within 90 days, I'm like, so what's that warm feeling inside of my body? Because I had not, up to that point, thank you. Who gave me that? Kristen, you're amazing. Up to that point, I had not had a hot flash ever. I had only ever heard about it. And people told me, oh, girlfriend, you will know. Because it will like start at your toes. Has anybody experienced this? Because literally, I had never experienced one before, right? So you'll start at your toes and it's like an inferno and it comes all the way up throughout the top of your head, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I start to feel just kind of a little warm, but nothing major. And I went, oh. And this is when I started to have revelation that the supplementation that I had been taking, my adaptogenic herbs, my trio for my insulin resistance, although I didn't understand this at all, I had no understanding of this connection, like zero, nada, nothing. I literally was barely a supplementer. I considered ibuprofen supplementing. So I start back up on my routine again of my trio, my adaptogenic herbs, and I literally never had a hot flash. So people say to me, like, Kirsten, how did you know you were insulin resistant? Kirsten, how did you know, if you were so afraid that you wouldn't go to a doctor to get tested for things, because I had already been gestational diabetic in my 20s. I had already had my dad die of type 2 diabetes when I was 30. I had already been gaining weight and doing all the things and eating everything white and like addicted to sugar and chasing carbs for years by this point, for years, poster child of sugar addiction, right? So I hit my 50s and I hit my upper 40s and my mom's like, you've got to deal with your sugars. Your dad died of type 2 diabetes. You've got it. Like, don't you ever go to the doctor? What's wrong with you? Don't you test for things? Blah, blah, blah. So what I didn't understand was the connection until like, here I am. I'm going into my 60s. Like next week, I'm going into my 60s. Came in like a hot mess express and I'm leaving at a high functioning level. And I spent my 50s turning back my insulin resistance and recognizing, by the grace of God, not because I'm so smart, recognizing how to be able to literally avoid the insanity of the symptoms. Okay? And one of them is hot flashes. So as I am now completely postmenopausal, I haven't had a cycle for 10 years, almost. I have never had a hot flash. And because I turned around my insulin resistance, no hot flash. Because I've turned around my insulin resistance, I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped. Because I turned around my insulin resistance, I've been able to, I'm fully convinced that it has been what has helped me to avoid type 2. I'm the only one in my family that did, but it also has helped me on this journey, this search that we go on. We're like, how do I sleep? How can I possibly get my sleep under control? And so at some point, you have to stop giving yourself Band-Aids. I have had customers that have been taking Benadryl at night. I have had customers that have been really addicted to melatonin. I can't do melatonin. It makes me drunk. I've had customers with so many different symptoms of insulin resistance. And the hot flash one, if we would talk about this to our friends and to our daughters and to our neighbors about, you know what, oh, you're having a really hard time with hot flashes, it could be your liver. Because it could be, back up one more step. What's that one more step? Insulin resistance. Have you ever thought that you might be insulin resistant? Maybe you need to get tested for fatty liver. Okay, let's talk about what test you need to get, or they need to get. So here's why. So metabolic dysfunction, if you're on my content, highly likely, right? You're probably not listening to me if you don't have metabolic dysfunction. It causes a ripple effect in your body, and it leads to hormonal imbalances, insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and thyroid issues. So is anybody confused yet that these are all connected? Does anybody have questions on this? It's all freaking connected. These are not separate subjects, you guys. Do not copy what the medical community has done. Do not repeat. Do not rinse and repeat what they have done. They have siloed every conversation. Oh, you are having, it sounds like a hormonal issue. You should go to your gynecologist. Oh, you are having a fatty liver issue. You should go to this doctor. Oh, you're type 2 now. Oh, okay, you should go to this doctor. And they've siloed everything. This is what keeps us chasing our tail. See, every time I talk to you guys, I think about, oh, I should do a reel on that. And then, hold on, I'm actually going to get a pen. I have a little drawer in my table. Hold on. Because that is the frustration. This is what keeps us chasing our tails, is the siloing. Does that make sense to you guys? Silo medicine. I swear, that's a good terminology, silo medicine. Because you think then you just need to go to another specialist. You just need to go to another doctor. You just need to get another script. And they have you just running around and your calendar is filled with medical appointments that you never wanted. Who was it that was, it was Mel Gibson. He was doing an interview and he was talking about his dad, and he was talking about alternative medical treatment because his dad, I don't think I'm going to remember the details of his medical situation, so I'm not going to try to make it up. But he was like 90, and I think he needed to have like a hip replacement or something. And they were questioning whether or not this is really wisdom at 90, right? Because it's tough to recover. It's a lot of anesthesia on the body, etc. And so Mel's talking to the doctor for his dad, and they're like questioning, and he said, well, we could try these alternative, treatments and whatever. But his dad, as he goes to the doctor, he's like not on any meds. And the doctor goes, how are you 90 years old and you are not on any medication? And his response, this is a recent interview, and his response was, well, I don't go to the doctor. And he's like, they're like, well, okay then. I mean, do you understand? Like, they will have you freaking chasing your tail. Maybe you've already experienced it. So many of you reach out to me in my DMs and you tell me stories about how you went to the doctor. You were just horrified. Like, you've had to go through 3, 4 endocrinologists because you just can't get anybody to actually help you with proper nutrition or proper anything. And they just keep throwing scripts at you, and you've got to take credit for this. You've got to pat yourself on the back. Come on, get your arm up and over. This is the arm I had surgery on. I need range of motion to be able to do this. Now, come on, pat yourself on the back. Tell yourself how amazing you are, because you literally are taking the time to sit on content like this, because there's something inside of you that says, I actually think I know my body better, and I actually think I can advocate for myself better than what's going on out there, than what I'm hearing every time I go and I have to switch a doctor, or I have to add a script, or I have to up a dose, and I'm done. And I want to come and say, I'm not a doctor, but your body was designed to function, and it was designed to heal. So if nobody has told you that today, you need to hear stuff like that. Let me know in the comments if that is you, where you know inside of yourself, I was actually designed to function at a different level. And so doggone it, 2025, get under my feet. I will stand on you, and I will tell you how this year is going to go with my body. Okay? It all makes sense now that I am hearing your content. Oh, that's so good. All that you are talking about, I am dealing with right now. It's challenging, you guys. Oh, hearts on Instagram. It's challenging, and I know it. But I just want you to know you're not crazy. I spent so many years thinking I was crazy, thinking that I did not have, I doubted my own intuition, that intuition that we have when we're 13, 15, and we get our period, and we know our body, and we can tell when we're going to get our period, and we are assessing how we're bloating or moving or not moving or sleeping or not sleeping or anxious or not. Or we used to spend a lot of time paying attention to our bodies. And then we opened the door to the medical community, and we were like, all of a sudden, like we exited our minds, our brain, like we took our brain out and we said, whatever you tell me is true, I will do what you tell me to do. I mean, it's honestly ridiculous. And then after a while, we're like, oh, whoa. Side effects are dumb. This is ridiculous. I am not stupid. I am wise. I do assess my body well. I know myself better than you know me. And I'm tired of paying you for no answers. Okay, there you go. Wendy, good to see you. You guys, so fun. Okay, come on in, follow along TikTok, hit the follow button if you want consistent information on insulin resistance, because this is what we do every day at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. So basically, here we go. Metabolic dysfunction is the ripple effect to your body. This is why we talk about turning it around with targeted supplementations and food ingredient trade-outs every single day. I only teach those 2 things, but the results are freaking amazing. So good. So it leads to metabolic dysfunction, leads to hormonal imbalances. Insulin is a hormone, cortisol is a hormone, GLP-1 is a hormone, like it's all connected. Insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and thyroid issues. Here we go. It's the full merry-go-round. It's all of it, you guys. All of these can exacerbate hot flashes and night sweats. If you have high blood pressure, listen to this now. Listen to this list and see what applies to you. You can put it in the comments if you want to. You can tell me which ones apply to you. You don't have to if you don't want to. Do you have high blood pressure, high blood sugar, bad cholesterol, abdominal fat, or you're battling intense hot flashes? This could be a sign to talk to your doctor about fatty liver disease, unless your daughter is a doctor. You do not have to suffer with this. Understanding what's driving your symptoms can actually help you take action. That's what we talk about every day. What's driving your symptoms? And it's insulin resistance, right? Whether it's dietary changes or supplementation. Hold on just a second. So your liver could be the actual reason why you have hot flashes and why they're out of control. And this is how this happens. Fatty liver is often caused by a poor diet and lifestyle. Okay, it used to be alcohol, which is still lifestyle, right? But it used to be mainly alcohol. But now it's across the board. Poor diet and lifestyle, not just alcohol. When the liver stores too much fat, it can't function. It throws your whole body into chaos. Your hormones, your metabolism, everything. Okay? So love your liver. A new study of 5,000 women, we kind of did this, I'll just say it again. That study, they had fatty liver due to metabolic dysfunction. They had a higher chance of experiencing severe night sweats and hot flashes. So these are the tests that you can ask your doctor for. An LFT, which is a liver function test. These measure enzymes and proteins to see how well your liver is working. Okay, an LFT. An ultrasound or a fibroscan. Grab a pen if you need to write any of these down. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you. Making my day. Ultrasound or fibroscan. These are imaging tests to check for fat buildup in the liver. Okay. Magda, say it, preach it, believe it. You go, girlfriend. I'm going to put that's really, I like that. Woohoo. Listen, if you're going to be around me, I'm Italian. I may or may not have a lot of opinions. I'm just saying, I may or may not. I was raised with, little side note, my dad, he was 100% Italian. And so my mother was 100% Swedish. So he was very, he taught by action that you should be obnoxious about being Italian. Like, you should be obnoxious. Like, we are Italian. Like, that was my dad. So he would introduce us as children when he would, these are my kids. And he'd say, these are my little swagos. Because dago is the derogatory term, which I never knew. And I still don't even know why it is. I have no idea. Literally, I'm almost 60 years old. I've never looked it up. I don't care because I don't believe in any of that. It just doesn't matter to me. So instead of dago, he'd say, these are my little swagos. Well, he would always say to us as kids, so what are you? What are you? And of course, if you said anything other than Italian, no, you're Italian. And that was my dad, right? So it's kind of funny because when I think about that, and and the fact that I'm just so opinionated, I'm like, gosh, I wonder where I get it from. I guess I know, but I'm very opinionated. I was taught to be strong. I guess I didn't think that most of my life, but I guess I am. So an LFT, an ultrasound or a fibroscan, a fasting insulin and A1C. And will you please listen, if you get nothing else from this entire conversation today, will you hear the fact that it's not just your A1C that you need to get tested, which are your blood sugar levels, but you need to be asking for a fasting insulin test. Okay, it's to detect your insulin resistance, which often goes hand in hand with fatty liver. So long before it shows up in your blood glucose levels, you could be insulin resistant and you don't even know it, and nobody's testing you for it. And you didn't even know to ask for a fasting insulin test. But it could tell you already what's going on with your liver long before it gets out of control and your liver's enlarged and you've got issues. Okay. CRP is a C-reactive protein. This test checks for inflammation, which could be driving your symptoms, and a lipid panel to check your cholesterol levels. The only thing with that is get proper numbers. Don't take the numbers of the matrix on your cholesterol levels, okay? There are a lot of people out there with really, really good information on very good, proper levels of cholesterol. They've brought down the numbers so that they can put you on scripts earlier and that they can raise the dose, okay? And the thing with that is, this little side note on that is that if you're on an STATIN, you are deficient in CoQ10. Fix it. Fix it. If you need an amazing CoQ10, please reach out to me. Before you go and buy something at a mart that may not even be absorbing into your system, will you please message me and ask me, say, will you send me a direct link to the CoQ10? Okay. Because if you're on an STATIN, you are deficient. Number two is, if you are on an STATIN, you're probably sad more often than you used to be, if you know what I mean. The D word. Okay. Okay. That's why oftentimes you get an anti-D med with your STATIN. You just need to know that that's what's happening. So anyway, so make sure if you're getting a lipid panel, get proper numbers from somebody like a Dr. Ken Berry, from like a Maria Emmerich. Get proper, good cholesterol numbers and not the chart that they've got on their wall, because their chart is a direct entrance into an STATIN, if you know what I mean. And of course, this is all just my own opinion. And again, I'm really opinionated. So why are you so surprised? Kristen, you're doing the Lord's work today, Kristen. I so appreciate you. You have no idea. It's just, there's no other way to get stuff out there for people. Okay. So how can you change some of these things naturally? How can you do this? Well, dietary changes is probably number one. And I absolutely love the way that they listed this. This is really, really cool. Ruthie. Yep. She says that her husband had really bad aching joints on an STATIN. You're amazing. You're so smart. No, research is so smart. Research. You guys are awesome. So basically, most researching does not give you this information right here. So listen up, put on your listening ears. So focus on high quality proteins. And we talk about this a lot, you guys. Literally, protein can change your life because it can stabilize your blood sugar. It can help you maintain lean muscle mass. It can do so many things that it'll help to bring your cortisol down. Like, there's so many good connections. It's ridiculous. Focus on high quality proteins like grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, and pasture-raised eggs. Eliminate. Let's spell it together. ELIM. I am so sorry, you guys. I need to have another drink. INATE. Eliminate. This is what they're saying. I have not completely eliminated, but this is what it's saying. Eliminate processed carbs, sugars, and grains. That's not true. I have very much done that. I have done that because I don't eat white flour. I don't eat white sugar. I don't eat grains. They spike insulin and they drive, like, get in your car and start driving. They're driving fat storage into your liver. So when you cheat, when you go through the holidays and for 6 weeks, you go from pumpkin pie to appetizers on New Year's Eve and you just binge, what is happening is it's not just about your waistline, even though that's the most frustrating piece. It's what's going on underneath. Okay. And so yesterday, excuse me, our beautiful, wonderful, amazing Magda gave us the testimony of having been taking the orange pixie stick, which is the thermogenic. It's the fat burner, you guys. You can see it on my site. There's a little fire emoji on there. She took it for 90 days. She lost 2.5 inches off of underneath her bra. I want to make sure I'm getting my Was it 2.5 or 3.5? I'd have to look it up to make sure. It's okay. 2 inches off of her waist and 1 inch off of her hips in 90 days, because we live in 2025 now where they actually have real science that can take a clinical dose of this extract and it will target your trunk from underneath your boobs down to the top of your hips or the top of your legs. So what would that be? Your hip socket? From underneath your bra down to your hip sockets, your trunk. It literally targets that. But do you want to know what the most beautiful piece of that is? Is that the fat that you're losing is the dangerous visceral fat that we're talking about. Think about that for just a second. As you're going for labs, you're getting your updated numbers, you're getting your fatty liver checked now. What if, like Magda, I don't know, 3.5, Magda says, 3.5 from up here. So I do have a question for you, Magda. Have you had liver tests done? Like, do you know if you have fatty liver? I'd like to know if you know that. And is that then a part of your updating that you would be able to track in labs? I do not know why. I did not feel dry when I woke up this morning. So eliminate processed carbs, sugars, and grains. And you guys, it's just because you have to fix what got you into the pickle to begin with. You just have to fix it. You have to recognize that when you are eating certain foods that they are spiking, it's calling on more insulin. And if you're already insulin resistant, it's just not the answer for you. And this has nothing to do with your girlfriend or your husband or the program that tells you all you have to do is count points, or the fact that you're nurse ed person because you're type 2. And so you have to go to these appointments. And she told you can have 45 grams of carbs per meal plus eat 2 to 3 snacks a day. That was on our live this week. Just because of all of that, that's not you. That's not for you. That information is not for you. You're going to have to face in the mirror. Okay, I'm going to have to tighten the reins. But Kirsten tells me I can still be a foodie. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay, what'd she say? Yes, fatty liver confirmed, but my liver enzymes are normal. Okay. Super interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Well, it'll be fun to follow your journey then, because again, she did 90 days on and a month off now, and she's back on this again. This is the orange pixie stick. It's just like candy. It's just like how you would remember it as a kid. 1 a day, only 1 a day, right on your tongue, not in water. Okay. You can, it just dilutes it. And why would you want to not taste the goodness? 3.5 inches from here. 2 inches from here. Where's your liver? Where is your liver? And 1 here. Just telling you. I love these testimonies. They make me so happy. Add foods like cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, which can help detoxify the liver. If you have an issue with taking greens like that, and you know that you need to create more bile, you know that maybe you don't have a gallbladder, all of these things. And so therefore, those types of foods really upset your tummy and they upset your digestion. A couple of things that you could do. I have an organic greens powder, organic, certified organic, which you want. And you could be implementing that into your diet, but you could also be considering taking the gut primer, because this is where you're going to get the 6 different blends. And this one has the fermented greens in it. So they're already fermented. Okay. And you need that. You want that. You actually want the fermented greens, and it just tastes like tea, which doesn't excite me because I'm not a tea person. But it's basically very gingery, turmeric-y, etc. I just put it in very cold water at the beginning of every day, and I down it like a shot, because I'm not looking to sip it because I'm not a tea person. But helping yourself like with the greens, sometimes people are like, but I'm eating all the broccoli, I'm eating all the Brussels sprouts, I'm doing all the things, and your digestion is going, stop. So there are a couple of different ways you can do it without those effects. And this will help with bloating and constipation. So if you are constipated, stop the insanity, like right now. You have to move the impacted waste, the impacted toxic waste in your body. You need to be pooping every day. Dang, is that going to be my next t-shirt? No, I don't want that. But I do have one that says love your liver that a girlfriend made for me, and I love it. Pro tip would be to add lemon to your water first thing in the morning. It stimulates liver enzymes. It supports detox. And then, of course, when I talk about supplementation, I have two things that really, really, really help with liver. One is when you're on the trio, these 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity, which is the base of this conversation. One of them is for your liver. And I had a customer that now her enzyme livers were up, and she cut them in half in 45 days just by taking this twice a day. Because again, you want things that are coming from organic farms that are not building up more toxins in your system. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Stop thinking that you're cutting a corner because you're buying something at a mart or at a drugstore. And if it's not organic, but it is crushed up plants, don't buy the crushed up plants that are sprayed with glyphosate. That's silly. You're making your liver work harder. Don't do that. So help your liver with this way. Help your liver with the insulin resistance, going from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive. This is literally where I started a little over 10 years ago. It's fully supported me in losing 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped. So grateful because I didn't know about this stuff. I'm just so grateful that like God gave me answers and I didn't even understand that they were answers in the moment. And then the second thing would be hands down, I would tell you, get on the gut primer. Your liver health will increase substantially by being on the gut primer, by taking a scoop of this every single morning. You can heat this. It has a prebiotic, a postbiotic, digestive enzymes, alkaline spices, fermented greens, and then fiber from the extracts of fruits and vegetables. Like you will move your impacted waste. People are getting better sleep. People are obviously they're not constipated. Their indigestion is going away because you are right-siding your gut. You're like recalibrating your gut and turning it back right side up again. And so what happens with that is you shore up the edges where you've been leaching nutrients, like just nutrients just like flying through your system, and toxins getting into your bloodstream, making you exhausted because you have leaky gut. Because insulin resistance creates leaky gut. It's all connected. So you have to shore that up and start to absorb your nutrients. And when you can absorb your nutrients, your body goes, ooh, I'm awake, I can function. Look at there. I'm getting what I need instead of it just literally flooding through, going right through. Okay. And you want to make sure that you're taking things that your body can actually break down. That's a whole nother conversation about like outhouses during marathons being studied and all of the supplements that never did break down in somebody's body. That's a really, really icky story, but it's true. Okay. With the lemon in mind, does apple cider vinegar with the mother do good or same as lemon? That's a really good question. I would think yes. Wouldn't you think apple cider vinegar would be good for that? I would think so. I don't see why not. I mean, I don't know enough about it, but especially something like that with the mother. I mean, getting a little bit, again, that's like that. I don't know. I just haven't studied that. My instinct is yes, but that's an interesting question. So that's the reason my liver enzymes are within normal, because I take the trio. Have they not been? So Magda, tell me this. So your doc stated if my liver enzymes start going up, then we would consider doing an MRI or a CT scan. Okay, so Magda, have you had high liver enzymes in the past that you know of before you started taking the trio? I mean, so this is a journey. And I really, again, we're old now, we're older, right? We're right around the 60 range. Some of y'all are 50. Some of you are even in your 40s, but still, like, the rules of being in high school don't apply anymore. Like, you can't treat your body like a rented car anymore. You have to actually pay attention, all of those things. You can't lose 10 pounds by the weekend for the dance, those things. So if you will embrace that this is a journey and give yourself permission to take the journey, you will be so much further ahead than you even understand. So as we start to get tests, no, never as far as, okay, so you don't know Magda. So we don't know positively for sure, right? But that's a really good way to keep you on a course, right? To try to keep those liver enzymes from ever going up. Let's make sure we do that. I like that. But as you're going to the doctor and you're getting lab tests, or if you have a baseline somewhere, then you will know. People, I know we want to only talk about maybe, or I do maybe basic. I talk a lot about symptoms that we can touch and feel and see, and et cetera. And, so belly fat is one of them, or how you're sleeping at night or not sleeping at night, whether or not you're exhausted, all of these things as to symptoms of insulin resistance. But consider the fact that if you have some baseline tests, everything that I talk about has a 6-month guarantee, which is insane. I mean, nobody else does that. Just telling you, 6-month guarantee. That gives you a nice, beautiful season to be able to be very consistent at no risk. I mean, that's amazing. So you actually have lab result guarantee, meaning a guarantee that will carry you through getting tests and then getting retested so that you can see for yourself. You have that kind of a length on a guarantee. That's really good. Really, really helpful. Okay. So as we're just wrapping up, tips and tricks, morning movement, even 10 minutes of light exercise like walking or stretching can help your liver process stored fat. So walk. Sleep hygiene. Every day we talk about sleep. The liver does most of its detox work while you sleep. Try to get 7 to 8 hours and avoid late night snacking, which stresses your liver. Cold showers, a few minutes in cool water can activate your metabolism, burn fat, and reduce inflammation, giving your liver a break. People are doing a lot of cold plunges, right? And intermittent fasting. This gives your liver time to clear out stored fats and reset. Start with a 12-hour overnight fast and build from there. So if you're struggling with intense hot flashes or night sweats, your belly fat will not budge, you have high blood pressure, high blood sugar, or bad cholesterol, it might be time to talk to your doctor about fatty liver disease to just see if you have it. And if you know somebody who needs this information, share it with a friend. Tag them in the comments. Let them know that, you know what, here you've been dealing with all of these hot flashes and night sweats. Has it ever dawned on you that you might be insulin resistant with fatty liver? Because they go together. I mean, I'm just saying, like, isn't that great? Terry, you're so amazing. She says, great info as always. Thank you. You're welcome, Terry. You're amazing. And Terry is 64. Are you 62 or 64? She lost 40 pounds in the last not the last 8 months, over the course of 8 months in 2024, using exactly what I'm talking to you about. The trio, the blood orange pixie stick, the gut primer, the probiotic. Lost 40 pounds. You know, in our 60s, we think it's too late. We think we're done. I thought that when I entered my 50s, I thought, oh, God, are you kidding me? This gets worse. This gets worse. Linda, she says, loving your information. 62. Terry's 62. Just think about that, though. You know, we do. We think, oh, because I didn't understand, like, when your hormones shift. And for me, it was a fast stop because I had surgery and I never had a cycle again. when that happens, and so anybody who's had, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just didn't realize that the redistribution of fat on your body was so kind of apparent and obnoxious. I didn't understand that that's what was going to happen. So when we talk about, this fat burner, just to bring this up, when we talk about something like this, what we're talking about is body composition changing. So you're not actually you think you want to lose weight. But what you actually want is you want to lose sizes because you've burned fat. You want to change your body composition back to where it used to be. That's really what you're looking for. You're not looking just to lose water weight or muscle weight or impacted waist weight. That's not what you're looking for. You're actually wanting to burn fat. And when you are able to burn fat, then you are able to change your body composition. Think about Magda's body composition change. So she did this for 90 days, 3.5 inches off of underneath her boobs, under her bra, 3.5 inches. Do I have my measuring tape? No, I put it in my bathroom. Get yourself a fabric measuring tape, a loose one, right? 3.5 inches from underneath her bra, 2 inches off of her waist, and 1 inch off of her hips. That is body composition change. That is actually what you're looking for. That's the kind of help you're looking for. You don't need a new fangled point counting system. And I only say that because if that was not created for the insulin resistant person, then that program is extremely temporary for you. Anything that you will lose, I'm literally, this is just my opinion. Anything that you will lose most likely is because you stopped eating a ton of processed food. Praise God, good move, way to go. And because you have kind of a front end, losing inflammation, losing toxins, this is good for sure. But if you want to change your body composition, you have to literally have fat leave your body. And there are 2 things that will stop you from having fat leave your body. Number 1, high insulin. Most of you have no idea that you are insulin resistant because nobody is pulling a fasting insulin test for you. They are waiting until you have high blood sugars. And you could have known years and decades before. So high insulin is keeping you chasing your tail and you're on a hamster wheel and you are frustrated. Okay? That's where the pounds don't budge. You're like, what the heck is going on? Maybe it's just me. Number 2, if you have a liver that is tired and toxic, can't burn fat. So what are you going to do about your liver today? You can do it. You can eliminate processed carbs, sugar, grains, get them out of your life. See ya, bye-bye. And you can still be a foodie. I'm a total foodie. You can still be a foodie. I promise you. This is exactly what I teach. Every single month, we do a 5-day insulin resistant reset. Every single month, it'll be our 21st one. I think it's our 21st one in February on the 3rd. Get in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I'll go live in there every day, Monday through Friday. We'll talk about ingredient trade outs. We'll talk about pantry and refrigerator and all of those good things. Make a recipe. If you want to jumpstart, if you want to go fast, if you want to go faster, if you want to compress time like Terry did, then reach out to me and talk to me about the supplementation. Like you might want to be looking at the trio, right? That's a good start. You might want to be adding in the gut primer and a probiotic, and you might want to do the full system, which is with the thermogenic. You might want to do everything like Terry. And 40 pounds later, after 8 months, I think she's happy. I think she's happy. Yes, new body health. See what you're saying. New body health. We're just taught that it's all about the scale. I feel amazing and not done yet. Oh, it makes me so happy. The scale. I got rid of mine 7 years ago. You guys, I give you permission. I give you permission. Where'd my pen go? I'm so glad because the scale tells you very little. It tells you so little about what's actually going on in your body. Think about that one group when I was growing up. My mom was a part of TOPS. Somebody told me, I don't need to, you guys don't have to tell me again, but we've had this conversation before about what TOPS stands for, but it's all about the scale, weigh in, like the biggest loser. Come on, weigh in. Stop it. This is a hormonal conversation. Debbie, please message me with all the products and recommendation to jumpstart myself to better health. I also need to know where to purchase them. I'll send you a link, Debbie. You purchase them right through me because you can't get them in the store. So I will send you a link. I'll send you a cart. But anyway, it's so much fun when somebody grasps the understanding, because I'll tell you, literally, you get to take this with you for the rest of your life. Once you understand that insulin resistance is the very core of the conversation, that this is all about hormones, girls, and that you don't have to listen to all of this siloed information where each silo gives you another level of a script. You can take back your life and function. I talk about that piece a lot. Me getting down on the floor with my grandbabies, me having energy to keep up with my grandkids. My oldest grandson will be 4 now next month. I'm just like, time is flying. It's just flying, right? I want to feel good every day that I wake up. I want to keep on changing my body composition. Losing 3 sizes in my 50s shifted how I feel, how I function, the energy that I have, the clothes that I can buy, how I feel on vacation, how I feel inside of pictures. Way too many pictures being taken all the time. I mean, I'm just telling you. And, we all have our own stuff, right? But it's like, I had to change my profile picture and I don't know how many silly selfies I had to take. You know what I mean? It's like, this is just the way that it is, right? We live in a very picture society. It's very frustrating when we don't feel like the way that we want to feel. And I'm telling you, it's the fat that you're wanting to learn. It's the body composition that you're wanting to change. It's not the number on the scale. Just going to tell you that. But anyway. Wendy says, thank you, Kirsten. Oh my gosh, you're just amazing, Wendy. I'm so glad you haven't gotten tired of teaching us because it takes me a while to get totally on board. I just had my back surgery and you're on the mend. Oh, God bless you, Wendy. Oh, God bless you. Heal up very, very quickly, okay? I'll be praying for you. It's like, I just know how long it took me. Grace. No shame. Just allow yourself to put one nugget. That's why we do the reset every month. One nugget at a time. Okay. All right. Have a really, really good day. We're going to see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Again, right here. If you need anything, like if you need a cart so that you can get started, February is around the corner, 8 days away. And we are in February and literally you're going to blink. And it's going to be swimsuit season and it. And it's going to be shorts and it's going to be whatever, family reunion, wedding, graduation, whatever it is. There's something that you're thinking, I don't want to hide behind my sister-in-law again in that picture. I don't want to have the pillow on my lap again in that picture. I know it. Ask me how I know these things. All right. Have a good day. Love you guys. You're amazing. Don't forget it.